Hey you guys, hey, it's me again. I'm still traveling this morning over here at the job. Hey, I ain't talked much on how I got started in this business. I've been in this business a long time. I've been playing in the dirt. I think this coming spring will be my 40th year making my living of playing in the dirt. Done it much longer than that. My dad, he drove a truck for a living, but he had a lot of days off during the week. He worked. He worked. Matter of fact, my whole family works. They still work. And he'd be off. He'd come in off a trip, and he'd have a day off or a day where he didn't work. He'd be sitting on a piece of equipment somewhere, for extra money. He had to back when we was growing up. He had 4 kids. Him and mom and had 4 children, and they had to work, to make it. But anyway, I helped him probably when I was old enough to pick up rocks and stuff. We'd go fix a yard and pick up sticks and rake and shovel. But I've been making my living this I think 40 years coming up this spring. And there's a couple things that I might want to tell you. I know there's a lot of stories out here with landscapers, how they got started and what they did, this, that, and other. But kind of young guys, there's a couple things that might can help you out at what I've lived through. And I mean, I've seen a little bit of everything. I've had the ups and downs. Started over, I think, 3 times. Didn't never lose everything, but I just had to do a restart. One of the worst ones was 2008. The bottom fell out. I was actually working for a big landscape company. I had pretty much give it up and went to work for a big landscape company. And you're talking about a good company. But then when 2008, I'd worked for them about 13 years. 2008 came, I was one of them that didn't make the cut. And so, there was a lot of people out of a job in 2008. Me and my dad's talking. He said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I think I'm going to buy me a skid steer and go to work." He said, "Well, look," he said, what are you going to do that 10,000 other people in this area, they don't have any work?" He said, "What are you going to do any different?" I said, "Dad, the only thing I know to do is to go and do a good job at a fair market price and treat people the way I want to be treated." And I said, "That's the only thing I can do different, and show up when I say I'm going to show up." And that's what I did. I went and bought a skid steer. Didn't know if it was going to work. This was like the 3rd time starting up, but I didn't have any choice at the time, because nobody was hiring operators out here, equipment operators on the big construction jobs. Everything just shut down. But anyway, where I'm going with this is some things that I've learned is be patient. Be patient with what you're doing. This is a very simple industry to get into. You can open up you can be a landscaper or a lawn maintenance with a pickup truck, a push mower, a weed eater, and a gas can. It's the easiest business to get into, but one of the hardest businesses to stay in. The reason being, there's so much competition. I mean, there's behind every other truck, there's a lawnmower, there's a skid steer, there's an excavator, there's a dingo, there's shovels or rakes. I mean, it just goes on, and then you've got the market that you're trying to get into. It's just flooded with people that's bidding the same work that you are, and the prices is all over the board. They're from a little of nothing to just ridiculous prices that people's charging for doing this type of work. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is just be patient, because you can make a lot of money real quick. And you think, well, man, if I make this much money with this, what about if I add another truck? I add another lawnmower, I add another piece of equipment. Man, what can I do then? Just be patient. Another thing too, I think if you young guys could find somebody that's in your area, and I'm not talking about model after somebody or or maybe mentor on somebody. It'd be good if you could. A lot of people's tight-lipped when it comes to their what they're doing, what their success is. They're really tight-lipped. YouTube is just unreal with the information that they've got out there that you can find on YouTube. It's all over the board. You could take probably half of it and throw it out the window, because half of it, I believe, just is a bunch of hogwash. I'll be honest with you. People get on there and they brag what they make. They do this. Sure, they make $1,000 a day, but what did it cost to make that $1,000 a day? If it takes you $700 to make that $1,000, you haven't done anything. You'd be better off going somewhere and working at the factory or working in a mill or something, and making you a decent wage if it takes you. But now if you spend $100 and make $1,000, then you've hit a pretty good lick, you know. And you got to weigh all that stuff out. But you got to remember on it all. And there's a lot of good contractors around. There's a lot of big commercial contractors. But if a contractor comes up to you and say, hey, they see you down the road working, and they say, hey, can you come over here? I'd like for you to come over here and give me a price on this, you know. And then the next thing out of their mouth, they say, hey, you give me a good price on this. You know, we work in this area all the time. We got 9 or 10 jobs going on. That should be a red flag. Because what he's doing, he's wanting you to do this job, and pretty much he's going to tell you, or kind of hint around to what he's going to pay, regardless of what the bid should be. He's going to tell you about what it's going to pay, kind of promising you, not promising you, but telling you, hey, if you do this right here, you know, there's a good chance that you're going to be able to do these other jobs for me. And if you'll do that job, 9 times out of 10, them other jobs will not materialize. They will not. They'll not materialize at all. And because that should be a red flag. I'm not throwing off on all contractors, but I believe honestly, I believe that is in a contractor's handbook. You know, that we do this and we can promise this and we can do that. It's just, I've heard that story time after time after time, and that's just something I'm throwing out there. I don't mean to bash contractors. There's a lot of good folks out there. There's a lot of good people that works very, very hard. Don't want to bash nobody, but anyway, I'm pulling up on the job site. Wyatt, he's already here. He beat me to the job this morning. He's already unloading the plywood. Excuse me. We got to get in here and get this little project wrapped up. And I'm babbling on. Some of this right here might make it on the big screen. It might not. I don't know. But just in closing here, folks, I love what I do for a living. This is all I've ever done. It's all I've ever wanted to do. Can't see myself doing anything else. You guys check out our videos, hit that subscribe button and help us. We're shooting for 100 subscribers. I know that's little bitty stuff in the YouTube world, but our goal is to hit 100,000. It's kind of stalled out right now, but if you guys like what you see, hit them buttons for us. Maybe we can keep these videos coming, and comment on there what you like, what you might want to see. We love what we do, and I'm gonna quit babbling on now and get this truck pulled where it needs to go, and I'll talk to you guys a little later. We'll get you some footage on this big stump job, tree job. It's gonna be a good one.